If there's one thing that I look for in a series to raise it above all the others that are released, it's a show that has charm. Lots of charm. The kind of show that can pull you in and make the time fly from episode to episode, to immerse you entirely into the universe it is portraying, and have you rooting for the characters as if they're your friend. Wake Up Girls takes the charm level all the way to 11, and leaves you nearly crying when things aren't going well, and elated when things go right. The story is unusual in that the initial episode release is actually not the real introductory outing. There was a 50-minute movie chronicling the actual formation of the group, establishing the Greenleaves Company, the label that Wake Up Girls operates under, the characters in general, and setting up the series proper. It's sort of like a chapter 0 for those interested. It helps if you watch this movie, but the first episode itself is told well enough that you don't feel like you missed out. All you need to know is that this is a tale about 7 girls coming together to make a brand new J-pop idol group. The series details their rise to fame, their friendship, as well as the hardships that fame brings. It's not easy, and Wake Up Girls does a great job at the realism. There are other idol shows such as Love Live and Idolmaster, but they're far more glossy and sickly sweet. This on the other hand feels a lot more plausible and genuine. The feelings I have for this show and the girls behind the group are plentiful. The cast are normal girls from different backgrounds, some rich, some from broken homes, other from a close community or social group. They all have personalities, but they're not exaggerated like most anime characters, and you feel that these girls might actually exist. They have quirks, but they're within the realms of reality. That's something I really respect. The series begins when their agent skips town, taking Greenleaf's money with her, and leaving the group in a state of uncertainty. She comes back though in the end. What seems like a lifeline turns into a horrific and unsettling slide into depravity and awkwardness. The sleazy Suda-san turns the group into a collective of scantily clad pin-ups for middle-aged men. From the very moment you witness his influence seeping into the girl's view, your heart aches, and you know that nothing good will come out of his ideas. That takes a lot of thought and setup to make a viewer feel that way, especially after only one episode. Great job! You're rooting for these girls to do well from the off. However, do we have a champion of the group to focus on most of all? You need a figurehead to lead them, and we get that in Mayu. She used to be part of a very popular group called I-1 Club, but retired prior to joining her current team. Her backstory is the most polished, and it's clear that her life is not great. Her mother is disapproving after all the trauma from her I-1 days, and doesn't wish to experience it again. It's believable to have a parent who is not happy. It's a lot of strain to have someone famous in the family, as it leaves the whole unit open to scrutiny, invasion of privacy, and maybe even mockery. It can be shaming to some. It's not a bed of roses, fame. That's another thing I like about this show. It conveys that fame isn't something that you just acquire. You work hard for it, and do what you can to achieve it. The girls here have to work on a local TV station doing unusual items for the station, but it gets them noticed. The backstories of Miyu and Minami are also worth noting, as the support structure that they have is such touching examples. These two tug at the heartstrings something chronic. Minami's situation is a little predictable, but that doesn't bother me. It's a real scenario, not a ridiculous one. Wake Up Girls is a joint venture of Tatsunoko Animation and Audette, whose past works include Black Rock Shooter, Samurai Pizza Cats, and Gatchaman. The collective experience both studios have filled the audience with confidence that the show that they're watching is a good one. The push that this series has had in terms of exposure is worth noting, having been streamed to 108 countries on the 10th of January. This is a huge push for awareness and exposure on the part of these two animation houses. This is meant to be the new Idolmaster, a much more real iteration. Feels like a true story of 7 normal girls coming together to make a supergroup. The pacing of this tale is great. There's no hanging about with the girls gaining their talent. You're thrust into their actual rise to fame. They're talented and learning how to be a professional unit and raise the profile of the town that they live in. So, what about the music? Their actual repertoire? It's actually really polished. Stand Up, their breakthrough tune, is catchy and worth the attention of those who hear it. I'm not a devoted fan of J-pop, but I like a good tune, and these girls know how to make a good tune, and you feel like their rise to fame is justified. In the end, Wake Up Girls is impeccable. Its story is solid, the characters extremely likable, and the presentation's slick. It's not the best animation out there, but it doesn't need to be. It does the job well, and you're not left wanting in terms of quality. I'm convinced about the story presented here. I love it. I want these girls to realize their potential and become the idol group that they want to be. They are prime examples of how to earn fame. Work hard and remain focused. I couldn't recommend this hard enough. This will be a contender for one of the best productions of this season in my eyes. I don't usually follow idol shows, but this one did enough to catch my attention, and I'm sure it will catch yours too. Wake Up Girls is available to stream on Crunchyroll. My rating? Continue. You got to check this out. Your heart will be stirred. If you like what you heard, Please visit my Patreon campaign to help grow Anifile at patreon.com/MarsicoX.